Hello everyone, this is Ivan Cabrera with Explosive Marketer, and today I'm back on video number 2. I am super excited to finally get to a little bit more in depth regarding the Sellers on Fire training. I decided to make a little bit of a change. So if you recall, secret number 2, which is going to be video number 2, which is this one, I was going to be showing you the marketing type for you to use with these type of sellers so that you can spend under $500 a month. But I decided to make a little bit of a change, and once I started recording this training, I realized that it was taking me a long time, because part of the marketing is being able to pull up list of sellers on fire. So when I started recording this, just to show you how to pull a list of sellers on fire was taking me a long time. So what I decided to do is make video number 2, how to get a list of sellers on fire. So in this training, I'm going to teach you how to actually get that list of sellers on fire while staying under that $500 a month marketing budget. So the marketing budget is going to include the list and the outreach to the sellers, the marketing to the sellers, for us to be able to speak to them and set up appointments and book appointments so that we can sit with them and basically do a listing presentation so that we can get listings with these sellers. All right, so this training is going to be how to get a list of sellers on fire. So on video number 3, I'm going to change it out and I'm going to teach you the marketing type for you to be able to reach out to those sellers, and how to follow up with these type of prospects with under $500 budget to convert as many sellers on fire as possible into listings. All right, so that's going to be video number 3 coming out after this one. Okay, so let's just get started with this training on how to get a list of sellers on fire. So just to recap, sellers on fire are homeowners who have multiple motivations, multiple reasons for them to sell. So one motivation could be that they are an absentee owner. An absentee owner is somebody who owns a house where they don't live in. So just this in itself is called a motivation, because this could be a motivation for them to sell because they don't live in the property. But if we find a homeowner who is an absentee owner, meaning that they don't live in the house and they live out of state and the home is vacant, all these 3 criteria in one makes a seller on fire. So if we find a seller who does not live in the property, he lives out of state, and his home is currently vacant, he's going to have a high chance of selling this property, of wanting to sell this property. He's going to probably need to sell this property because now it's not a house that he's going to want to like to own. This is going to be now a problematic property. So he's going to need somebody to come and help him get rid of this problem. That is why he's a seller on fire, because he's basically on fire. He needs somebody to put him out and help him out with this property. Okay. Another type of seller on fire could be someone, a homeowner who is in foreclosure, who is tax delinquent, and also doesn't live in the property. So if he doesn't live in the property, he doesn't have a high motivation to keep the house. He's probably going to want to get rid of it. So I'm going to show you how to build these type of lists. I'm going to start with the easiest type of list to be able to put together and start marketing on, and the least cost effective as well, the least expensive type of list for you to put together where you can actually see results very, very quickly. All right, so let me just explain to you again the opportunity that you have with these type of properties and why I decided to teach this training. It's because I show you on the last video the potential that these properties have. So with one property, you could potentially have 3 commissions, but in reality, you can have up to 6 total commissions on one seller on fire, possibly. You know, it's not always going to happen, but doing this long enough, you're going to have potential for 2 commissions, that's for sure, and then 3 commissions. So 2 commissions is going to happen all the time. 3 commissions is going to happen pretty frequently. 4 commissions is going to happen once in a while, and then 5 and 6 commissions is going to happen every so often. But the point is that you're still going to have more opportunities to earn more commissions on just one single property. So if you remember on this example, this would be a seller on fire who has a property that is vacant and it's in really disrepair. So the buyer is not going to be a retail buyer because no bank in the right mind is going to finance this type of property. So most likely the buyer is going to be a cash investor. This cash investor is going to come to you. They're going to want you to represent them. So now, since you have the listing with the seller on fire, you're representing the cash buyer. Now you got 2 commissions that you made right here, not just one. So this could be a potential total of 6 commissions, 6% commission on the sale of this seller on fire property. And if you're smart and you follow the training that I'm going to show you, then you're also going to get the listing when this investor that you represented finishes renovating the property and is ready to put it on the market. He's going to list it with you, and now you're going to market this property. You're going to list it for him, and it's now going to be a higher price because now it's renovated, the value is more, and now you got a listing secured with this investor. Now it's not going to be as much as a seller on fire, but investors typically going to ask you for some type of discount. So it could be 1 to 2% listing on a higher price property because it's fully renovated. So if you do your marketing right, your open houses, if you follow the property launch system marketing where you expose the property to as many people while building a database of active home buyers in the market, you might be able to get that retail buyer to represent them as well. So if you present the buyer for the retail side, then that's another commission. So now you got the listing, the buyer here, the listing and the buyer here. That's 4 commissions total, not 3. I'm just being very conservative here, right? So you can have a potential 47% on just one property. So that's multiple opportunities to make more commissions on one property. Now, I'm going to show you a real life example of a property that I found for an investor agent. So in this one, I actually had the opportunity to make, I believe, 7 commissions, but I only did 4 commissions on this one, but very easily could have been 5 if you followed the process that I'm teaching you in this training. Because this is a property in Upland, California. I got the investor that I was representing. I found them this property. I reached to the seller on fire, and they really needed to sell the property, but they needed money to be able to move out, and they were stuck on a number that they wanted. So in order for me to make the deal work, I cannot charge a listing fee, because if I charge a listing fee, the investor could not buy it because it was going to be too high. And if I wanted to charge a listing fee, then I needed to increase the price because the seller was set on the net funds that they wanted. So I needed to increase the price in order to add a listing fee on this side. So what I did is, since this was an investor that I had a strong relationship, I did more than 10 transactions with them every year. So I just charged 1% to represent them on the buy of the property. So they purchased it for $445, and they paid me $4,450. So this was just one commission right here. Then they turned around and listed the property. I listed the property for them. They renovated the property completely. It was nice. They redid the pool, and I listed the property for them. So I did a couple open houses, and I met a couple that wanted to buy this property right here, but they needed to sell their property. So what happened was that I listed their property, and we did one open house. Luckily, we got a buyer who was willing to pay, and they closed at the price that these sellers and buyers for the investor listing needed in order to pay for this property. They needed those funds from the sale of their property to be able to buy the house that I had listed for the investors. So I listed this property, and then I was able to represent them to buy the investor property that I had listed. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4 commissions right here. It could have very easily been 5 if I would have gotten a listing fee right here for the seller on fire, and even another commission if I would have represented the buyer right here. But I did not represent the buyer on the sale of their property. I only represented them. So I made a total of about 6.5% commission total, obviously different price ranges. This house that I got the investor, I got $4,450, and then as a listing fee, I only charged 1.5%. I got $9,850. Then when I sold the buyer's home for us to be able to close on this one, I got $10,800 listing fee. And then when they purchased that property, I represented that buyer, and I made $13,160. That was a 2% that the investors were offering to the buyer's agent. So I was able to pocket $38,260. And just with one single property, one single home that I was able to reach out, that was a seller on fire. So this is the potential that you have. You have potential to create multiple commissions on each seller on fire. So that's why it's so easy to multiply, to at least duplicate, triplicate, and even quadruple your income just on the same amount of homes, as long as there's sellers on fire, because you're going to have these type of opportunities on a lot of these homes, because a lot of the sellers on fire, they're going to sell to investors, and then that's going to give you an opportunity to make multiple commissions out of that single property. So I hope this gets you really excited, because this is something that not a lot of agents know how to do. All right. That's why I put together how to get a list of sellers on fire. This is going to be the hardest thing to do out of this entire training, putting together an actual list of sellers on fire and doing it under a budget of $500 a month. Because before, I had to get a list of like a minimum 5,000 motivated sellers and mail a letter to every single one of them at least twice a month. So if it cost me 50 cents or $1 for each mailing, that was a minimum of 2,500 to 5,000 a month just to mail to 1,000 motivated sellers. And sometimes I did 3,000. The max I did was like 5,000. And that was just a lot of money. You could not do it with $500 a month marketing budget. But now, thanks to technology, thanks to the data information being easier to get, it's much, much easier and more affordable. All right. So the very first thing that you have to do is pick a market area that you want to work in. You want to work in an area where the population is at least 300,000 people or more. As long as there's 300,000 people living in that area or more, there's going to be enough houses for you to find sellers on fire. It should be an area that is very familiar to you. So if you live in a city or in a town that has very few population, not a lot of homes, then you want to add more cities. You want to just add more cities until you get to at least 300,000 population. Then you're going to start finding a lot more motivated sellers. Now, the nice thing about sellers on fire is that you do not need that many. You do not need 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 like I used to do to be able to get 1 or 2 deals. In order for you to get 1 or 2 listings, you only need about 200 sellers on fire. So we need to put together a list of 200 sellers on fire, and we should be able to get a minimum of 1 to 3 listings out of that. Because the way the numbers work is, out of 200 sellers on fire, about 100 of those are actually gonna be reaching out to you. Out of those 100, about 50 are actually going to be ready to sell and willing to set an appointment with you. Out of those 50, about 25 are actually going to attend the appointment, or it could be a phone call listing or a Zoom listing, because a lot of the sellers are not going to be in that area. So most of the listing presentations that we do are going to be through Zoom. So it's going to be through the computer, and it's going to be sometimes even over the phone, because we do get those old school owners that don't know how to use Zoom and they just do everything over the phone. So the majority is going to be phone call and Zoom listing presentations. So that's going to bring it down to about 25 actual listing presentations conducted. And out of 25, you're going to have at least 1 to 3 sellers that are ready to sell. There's nothing stopping them from listing the property now and putting that property in the market, about 1 to 3. And then you're going to have a couple more that are going to want to sell, but there's something going on that is not allowing them to list the property immediately, but they're going to be coming in the next couple weeks, next couple months. So those are just going to be adding up as you continue doing this marketing month after month. So every month when you're doing this marketing, you're going to go from 1 to 3 immediate listings. And then eventually you're going to start listing between 5 to 10 listings every month, because all the ones that cannot list immediately are going to start coming in. They're going to start coming into fruition, and you're going to start listing more and more listings every single month. All right. So you should go into areas where the sales price, the average sales price in that area is the median or above median price range. So you don't want to go into the low end sales price, because those are going to be crappy neighborhoods where not a lot of investors, not a lot of buyers are willing to buy. And you don't want to go into the luxury homes unless you're a luxury expert. Then you can do this with luxury homes, but you have to be aware that there's going to be a lot less sellers on fire, because usually in the luxury homes, people have more money, more resources, and they end up not losing their properties because of that. But there will be even luxury owners where things go wrong and they need to sell the property, and you can get luxury homes for listings through Sellers on Fire, but it's going to be a lot less. You're going to have to, it's going to take longer. You're going to spend more money. So I would not recommend that, especially if you're a beginning real estate agent. All right. Then you got to determine if you want to go after townhomes or single family residences. I always recommend doing single family residences, but it's going to come down to what the most desirable home type in your area is. So you basically have to figure out what the majority of home buyers are looking to buy, because that's what investors do. Investors go after the most desirable home type in their area. So for example, in my area, which is the case in the majority of areas, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, single family home with a little bit of yard at least. That's the most desirable type of home that sells very, very quickly. That's a bread and butter homes that sell quickly here. So a lot of investors go after those homes, and those are the homes that sell much, much faster. So those are the homes that we focus on right here. But you might be living in a crowded city where maybe a townhome is the most desirable home type, or maybe a condo is the most desirable home type. That's up to you to decide. But in most cases, it's going to be a single family home, the one that you want to focus on. All right. So then the next thing, step number 2, is going to be for you to pick at least 2 motivations. And I'm going to show you the 2 motivations that you should start with. This is going to be the easiest, fastest, and least expensive type of list that you can pull together to finally to be able to get your Sellers on Fire list and start marketing to them. Okay. So this is the recommended motivations that I want you to start with. I want you to get a list of absentee owners and a list of vacant owners, and then we're going to cross-reference this 2 lists and figure out how many owners are on both lists. So we're going to list of absentee owners and then a list of vacant owners, and whoever is on both lists, we're going to put that and merge that into another 3rd list, and that list is going to be our Sellers on Fire, because they're both are going to be absent and vacant house. They're going to have a vacant house, and they're not going to be living in their property, obviously, if it's vacant. But the next thing is going to be to pull a list. So right now, I'm actually going to teach you the process of pulling a list. So we're going to go to list.adamdata.com. So Adam Data Solutions is by far the best and most accurate data company that is available out there. So it's not only accurate, but it's also the least expensive and most affordable. This is the list that I highly recommend that you get. There's a lot of sources for you to get vacant and absentee owners, and you can go ahead and use them. But Adam Data Solutions is the one with the most accurate, and is the one that's going to give you the best, most effective return on your money. Because I've tried so many type of data providers, and Adam Data Solutions right now has been the best one that is giving me results. So why not start with we already know is it can give you results. All right. So all you have to do is get a free account. You just click on register now and just follow the steps, get a free account. Once you get a free account, you're going to come here, enter your username and password. You're going to log in. Once you log in, you're going to click here where it says click this box to begin. And then we're going to start by pulling a vacant property owner list. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick the locations where we want to work in. So we're going to go to the city section, property, zip code, and city. We're going to click on that tab, and then we're going to enter all the zip codes in that city. So if you don't know the zip codes in your city, just Google your city zip codes, and you should get a list like this, and just enter all these right here. You can also put this list together, right before you do this. You can put it together like in a document, like a Word or text document, and then you can go here to bulk codes and just make sure you put a comma in between and you paste them all right here. But I'm just gonna do it right here. I pretty much know all the zip codes in the city of Riverside, so I'm gonna go 92501, 92502, 92503, 92504, 92505, 92506, 92507, 92508, 92513, 92514, 92515, 92516, 92517, 92521, 92522. So those are all the zip codes in the city of Riverside. Again, if there's not that many vacant homes or absentee owners, whatever type of list you're pulling, then you're gonna have to enter more zip codes from the surrounding cities. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on save right here. Once I click on save, you're gonna see it right here. So it's already marked 15 items, so 15 zip codes are already included in this list. The next thing I'm going to do is go to ownership type, and this is where we're going to do vacant properties. Vacant right here. Check on this box, click on continue at the bottom right, and then select the vacant box right here, vacant, and select continue. And then you're going to see it right here. It's been selected. Now we're going to go to transaction tab right here, go to purchase date right here. And we want to get properties that have been vacant that were purchased at least 3 years ago up to 1950. So we're going to do 01/01/1950 and 01/01. Right now it's 2021, so we're going to go 2018. That's 3 years ago, because we don't want to get a list of properties where maybe the homeowner bought that property a month or two ago, but they still haven't moved in. Most likely that's not going to be a motivated seller. Is maybe they're just in the process of moving in, or they're renovating the house, whatever it is. But that's going to be a too recent of a property. If they purchased that property at least 3 years ago, and it's vacant now, then maybe they had a tenant, the tenant moved out, they can't get a new tenant, or now they've had some experience with tenants and they don't want to be a landlord anymore. So there's more motivation, right? So that's why you got to do at least 3 years. You can go down up to 5 years. The more years you go up to 5, then the more motivation they're going to have, and the chances are of having more equity, then they're going to be more motivated to sell that property. All right. Once you do this, you press on continue. It's going to take you back to this page. And now the purchase date criteria has been added. Now we're going to go to property type. This is where we're going to use the property use standardized box right here. We go to residential. Go to residential. We add selected codes. Now these are all the codes. So there's multifamily is already included in here. So we're going to clear everything because we only want single family residences. If we're going to go after townhomes or condos, make sure you send me a message or send me an email and let me know so that I can give you the condo or townhome code right here. But we're going to do the residential codes, which is 181 and 385. Those are the only codes that we're going to use right here. We're going to click on save. And now the codes have been added right here. Okay, so now we have 15 zip codes. We're looking for vacant homes in 15 zip codes where they purchased at least 3 years all the way to 1950, and our single family homes. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to click on recalculate right here, and this is going to give us the count, how many vacant homes are in this zip codes. So there's 228. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to save this list of vacant owners. We're going to edit search description, and we're going to say vacant list, city Riverside, 11/26/2021, because today's date. We're going to click on submit, and now this has been saved. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the absentee owners list. So we're going to go back again to start a new search. We're going to click this box to begin. We're going to click on the property zip code /city. We're going to enter the zip codes again, 92522. All right, those are all the zip codes. We're going to click on save, and that's going to get added right here. Now we're going to go to the ownership tab. We're going to go to where it says status owner occupied flag right here. That's for absentee owners. We're going to click on continue. It says status owner occupied. Is it occupied? Is this property occupied? No, we want this properties that are not occupied. So we check the box that says no, and then we click on continue, and that's going to add it. It's going to add that to our list. Then we're going to go to transaction. We're going to check purchase date. We're going to click continue, and then we're going to go 01/01/1950. We're going to select that, and we're going to go 01/01/2018. We're going to select that, and then we're going to click on continue. And now we're going to go to property type. We're going to go to property use standardized. We're going to check on residential, add selected codes, and we're going to clear all those codes. Okay. We're going to say 181 and 385. Those are the only two. We're going to click on save, and now it's been added. Now we're going to click on recalculate to see how many absentee owners are in those zip codes. And there's 1,826. So there's more absentee owners than vacant houses, obviously, you know. So now we have to get those two lists and figure out how many of those owners are on both lists so that we can create our sellers on fire list, right? So we're going to save this list. Before we do that, we're going to edit the search description. We're going to enter right here absentee owners Riverside. (11, 26, 20, 21). So we're going to click on submit. And now all we got to do is we got to order these lists. All right. So we're going to go to previous searches right here. And then it's going to be the last two lists right here. We're going to check those boxes. And we're going to click right here where it says view order. Right here. We're going to view order. It's going to tell you the lists that you're buying. All you got to do is click on place order. After you click on place order, it's just going to ask you for the credit card information and your personal information. And Adam Data Solutions is going to email you an Excel spreadsheet of all the absentee owners. And then you're going to do the same for vacant owners, for the vacant owner list. Then once you get the email with that spreadsheet of all the vacant owners, you're going to get those two lists, and we're going to merge them and see how many owners are on both lists. And with that, we're going to create a third list where their owners are on both lists, and that's going to create the sellers on fire list, because that means that they're both things are happening at the same time for that person. It's a vacant home, and it wasn't a owner occupied property. The property was an absentee owner, somebody that did not live in the property, that has never lived in that property, basically. All right, so the motivation is going to be a lot higher. Now, after you get this list, we use a company for us to get the emails and phone numbers, because Adam Data Solutions is only going to give you the owner's name, the property address, and the owner's current address. That's all they're going to give you. So the only thing that you'll be able to do with this list is going to be mail out to them. That's the only type of marketing that you're going to be able to do. So you're only going to be only going to be able to mail to those people, which mailing could be very, very expensive. All right. So what we do is we also get phone numbers and emails. And the way we do that is by using a skip tracing company. Now, I know right now you're probably going to be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You're going to be feeling like this is a lot of work, and you're probably lost, and you're going to need to watch this video a couple more times for you to kind of get what we're doing. But I actually have a surprise for you, because I have an easy way for you to be able to pull a sellers on fire list without having to do everything that we just did. This is the way that we used to do things before. But now I can show you how to get a list of sellers on fire with just a click of a couple buttons, and you'll pull automatically a list of sellers on fire with emails and with phone numbers already in there. So I'm going to show you how to do that easily on video number 4, but I wanted you to see why it's so difficult for agents and anybody to be able to go after sellers on fire, because it's just so hard. If you go directly to Adam Data Solutions website, Adam Data Solutions offers data for a lot of things, not just residential properties. So you'll get lost there. You won't figure out exactly how to pull the list, because if you make one mistake, you can be getting a list of homeowners that are not going to be motivated. And now you have to spend more money, more time, and your results are not going to be the same. This is the targeted way. You're targeting specific people that we have a high opportunity to be able to get listings from, because we know that there's a high intent for them to want to sell their property, right? So let me go back to the presentation. So that was how to pull a list, right? So after you pull the list, we're going to run a skip trace for phone numbers. But once again, I'm going to show you the easy way for you to get sellers on fire with just 3 clicks. And that's going to be on video number 3, the next video that's coming next. This training was how to get a list of sellers on fire. But on video number 4, I'll show you the easy method to pull a sellers on fire list with just 3 clicks. So I don't want you to start panicking. I don't want you to start thinking that this is not for you, that this is too hard for you, because before it was too hard for the average person, for the average agent, because there was just so many things that we had to do to get a list. Then the marketing part, it's another part, right? But you don't have to worry about that, because in video number 4, I'm going to reveal that method on how to get a list of sellers on fire with just 3 clicks. All right. So on video number 3, I'm going to show you the marketing type and how to convert those sellers into actual listings while staying under a $500 budget. So I want to show you how to market and follow up with these type of prospects with under $500 budget to convert as many sellers on fire as possible into listings. All right. So now we're done with this training. I want to cut it out right here because I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to make these videos way too long. So this is it for now. I hope you're getting excited on the next video. I'm going to show you the marketing and conversions for this type of sellers. It's going to be super simple, and you're not going to have to spend that much money up front, and we're going to stay within the $500 budget, and you're going to get results very, very quickly. All right. I hope you're excited about this method. I hope you're excited about these type of seller source, because I know that you're going to get results, because as long as you follow step by step, these are the best seller source that you could get listings from, because they basically need to sell. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next training. Take care.